The quiet that settles into life after 70 can be a complex companion. It can bring peace, a welcome slowing of pace after decades of hustle and bustle. Yet for many, this quietness can slowly, almost imperceptibly, morph into a pervasive sense of loneliness. It's a poignant truth that some of the loneliest individuals in their later years aren't necessarily those living in solitude. Often, they are surrounded by the familiar walls of their homes, perhaps even by family, yet feel an internal echoing aloneness. As we age, life's symphony naturally modulates to a softer tune. Children, once the vibrant core of daily life, forge their own paths. The structured demands of a career often recede, replaced by days that stretch out with fewer predefined anchors. The phone, once a constant herald of connection, might ring with less urgency and frequency. This isn't a failing, nor is it an uncommon experience. It's a shift in the landscape of life, one that can leave behind a subtle, gnawing ache if unaddressed. This isn't always about the physical absence of people. It's more profound. It's about how deeply connected we feel to ourselves, to others, and to the world around us. It's the feeling that the vibrant tapestry of life is continuing, but perhaps we're no longer an integral thread. If this resonates with you, or if you're concerned about a loved one navigating this delicate phase, please know that you are not alone in this experience. And more importantly, there are gentle, empowering ways to navigate these waters. This article delves into 5 simple yet profoundly effective strategies that many older adults have embraced to reinfuse their lives with light, structure, and meaningful connection. These are not quick fixes or complicated overhauls, nor do they demand a pretense that everything feels perfect all the time. Instead, they are compassionate, real-life adjustments that honor your pace and your needs, helping to gently turn the tide on loneliness and rediscover the quiet joy and purpose that still very much resides within you and around you. These 5 shifts, when cultivated with patience and self-kindness, can do more than just lessen the sting of loneliness. They can reshape your days with a renewed sense of purpose, bring a quiet calm to your heart, and serve as a gentle, constant reminder that you are and always will be a vital part of this world. If you've been grappling with feelings of disconnection, or if you're seeking ways to support someone you care about, the insights shared here aim to offer practical, encouraging pathways forward, beginning with the resources and strengths already within your reach. Let's embark on this journey of rediscovery together. We believe that sharing experiences enriches us all. Have you ever felt that quiet sense of loneliness even when not physically alone? We invite you to share your thoughts or a simple yes in the comments below. Your voice is a valued part of our community. 1. The unfolding day, crafting a gentle rhythm with daily routine. One of the most significant yet often overlooked contributors to emotional loneliness after the age of 70 isn't merely the absence of specific individuals from one's life. It's the subtle erosion of what's missing from the day itself. When the familiar scaffolding of work schedules, family caregiving, or even the brisk pace of earlier daily responsibilities begins to dismantle, it can leave behind a peculiar and unsettling void. Hours can unfurl without definition, days can blur into one another in a monotonous sequence, and slowly, almost without conscious recognition, our intrinsic sense of time, purpose, and connection to the pulse of life can begin to fade. This is precisely why cultivating a gentle, self-directed routine assumes an importance far greater than many might initially perceive. It's not about cramming your days with relentless activity or mimicking the frenetic pace of a bygone era. Rather, it's about intentionally giving your days a discernible shape, a comforting rhythm, something to anticipate, a quiet reason to rise and engage with the world, and a cadence that keeps you tethered to your own energy, time, and inherent sense of purpose. Consider the story of Leonard, a retired engineer of 79. He once confided that the most challenging aspect of his retirement wasn't the specter of boredom, which he had initially feared, but rather the way his days seemed to lose their defining edges, their familiar contours. I often didn't know when I should eat, when I should rest, or even when it felt right to get dressed. He shared, his voice tinged with a remembered disorientation. It felt like I was simply floating, adrift in a sea of unstructured time, and frankly, it wasn't a pleasant sensation at all. With the gentle encouragement of his daughter and the simple aid of a large print wall calendar and a small handwritten morning checklist, Leonard began to meticulously yet kindly rebuild the architecture of his day. A brisk walk around the park after breakfast, like a dedicated hour for reading his beloved history books before lunch, a scheduled phone call to his sister every Wednesday afternoon. These were not dramatic, life-altering interventions. Yet, as he described it, these small, consistent anchors brought him back to himself, restoring a sense of order and predictability that had been missing. A steady, predictable routine does far more than just impose organization on otherwise formless days. It actively constructs a sanctuary of emotional safety. It acts as a gentle shepherd for your thoughts, preventing them from drifting too far into the desolate landscapes of introspection or anxiety. It provides your body with the consistent cues it needs to regulate energy levels, sleep patterns, and even appetite. Most crucially, it helps you feel grounded, reestablishing the feeling that you are an active participant in the narrative of your life. Yes, not merely a passive observer watching it unfold from a distance. Why does this simple act of structuring time hold such power? Because it reintroduces a sense of control and agency, fundamental human needs that can feel diminished with age-related changes. It provides a framework against which the day's small joys and accomplishments can be measured, fostering a subtle but significant sense of achievement. If the idea of establishing a routine feels daunting, remember the power of starting small. Even the simplest sequence of actions performed consistently can begin to anchor you. Waking up at roughly the same time each morning, the ritual of opening the curtains to greet the day, the small act of making your bed, choosing a breakfast that you genuinely enjoy, these can become the foundational pillars of your day. The ultimate goal isn't to achieve an inflexible military precision schedule, but to cultivate a sense of presence and intention. When your day has a discernible beginning, a gentle flow through its middle, and a reflective end that you can anticipate and consciously shape, loneliness finds fewer cracks, fewer unguarded moments through which to seep. It's about reclaiming your time, not as an adversary to be filled, but as a companion to be cherished and mindfully engaged with. This first secret, the power of a simple daily routine, forms an important foundation for emotional well-being. If you find this information about structuring your day useful and are thinking about how you might apply it, or perhaps you already have a routine that works wonders, please consider commenting with the number below. We'd love to hear what small routines bring shape and comfort to your days. 2. The power of fleeting moments, nurturing connection through brief, regular social contact. In our often hectic world, there's a prevailing notion that meaningful connection requires grand gestures, lengthy conversations, or profound, soul-bearing exchanges. While these deeper interactions undoubtedly hold immense value, it's a misconception to believe they are the only antidotes to the ache of loneliness, particularly in our later years. In fact, some of the most potent and readily accessible remedies for feelings of isolation come packaged in the smallest of interactions, those brief, sincere moments of social contact that gently remind you that you are still seen, still valued, and still an intrinsic part of the vibrant fabric of everyday life. These are the social snacks that can sustain us between more substantial social meals. Imagine these instances: a simple warm hello and a shared smile with the neighbor diligently sweeping their porch as you pass by on your morning walk. A quick, friendly conversation with the cashier at your local grocery store, the one who remembers your preference for paper bags or asks about your garden. A spontaneous phone call with an old friend that lasts just 5 or 10 minutes, not an hour, simply to share a laugh or a piece of news. These fleeting touches of human connection may appear minor, almost inconsequential on the surface, yet psychologically they carry a surprisingly profound impact. Research in social psychology suggests that these micro-interactions activate the parts of our brain associated with belonging and social reward. They gently nudge away the encroaching feeling that you might be drifting apart from the world, becoming invisible or forgotten. They are like small, consistent affirmations of your presence and relevance. I recall a conversation with a delightful woman named Ruth, then 82, who once told me with a touch of wistfulness that she didn't have many people she would describe as close anymore. Her circle had naturally contracted over the years. However, every Saturday morning, without fail, she would make her way to the local farmer's market. She confessed, with a twinkle in her eye, that she didn't always go for the freshest produce, though she appreciated it. She went for the people. There's the flower vendor who always asks about how my indoor tomatoes are faring, she'd explain. The young man at the bakery who ensures I get the softest loaf, and the cheerful girl who plays the fiddle on the corner, whose tunes just lift my spirits. She admitted, I don't even know most of their names, and they certainly don't know the details of my life. But those small exchanges, those familiar faces, they make me feel like I'm still in it, like I haven't just disappeared into my own four walls. That is the quiet, unassuming magic of brief, regular social contact. It doesn't demand the kind of emotional or physical energy that you may not always have readily available. It doesn't carry the potential weight or expectation of deep, probing conversation, which can sometimes feel overwhelming. It simply, yet powerfully whispers, I exist. Someone sees me. I am still part of the rhythm of the world. These interactions act like little buoys, keeping you afloat in the social stream, reminding you that you are connected, even if those connections are light and momentary. So if you've been feeling that dull, persistent ache of disconnection, try this gentle experiment. Actively look for just one or two small moments each day to engage with another human being. Even a few exchanged words with the mail carrier about the weather, a nod to a fellow walker in the park, or a friendly comment to someone in a queue can bring an unexpected sense of ease and upliftment. Over time, these tiny, seemingly insignificant links begin to form a resilient chain, a soft, comforting reminder that you are still intricately woven into something larger than yourself, a tapestry rich with shared humanity. These insights into the power of brief social encounters can be truly transformative. If you're finding this discussion valuable and it resonates with your own experiences or observations, please let us know by commenting with the number 2 below. And if you haven't already, we warmly invite you to subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell. Your support is immensely appreciated and helps us continue creating content designed to inform, inspire, and foster a sense of community. Now let's explore another powerful strategy. Number 3, the outward glance, finding ourselves by helping others. It's a curious paradox of the human heart. Often, one of the quickest and most effective ways to alleviate the internal burden of loneliness, especially after the age of 70, isn't to passively wait for or demand more attention from the world, but rather to actively offer our own. When you find a small, meaningful way to extend yourself to help someone else, a remarkable shift occurs within. Your focus, which may have been uncomfortably turned inward by loneliness, naturally pivots outward. Your sense of self-worth, which can sometimes feel diminished when customary roles change, receives a gentle but significant boost. And perhaps most importantly, that pervasive feeling of invisibility begins to recede, replaced by the quiet, affirming knowledge that you are needed, that your contributions matter. This doesn't necessitate signing up for demanding full-time volunteer commitments or embarking on complicated large-scale projects, unless, of course, that genuinely appeals to you. The magic often lies in the smaller, more intimate gestures of kindness and support. It could be as simple as regularly checking in on an elderly neighbor who lives alone, perhaps offering to pick up a few groceries for them. It might involve helping a friend who no longer drives get to a doctor's appointment. Imagine baking a small batch of cookies or a loaf of bread and leaving it at someone's doorstep with a thoughtful, anonymous note, or even the time-honored tradition of mailing a handwritten birthday card to someone who might not be expecting one. These actions, while seemingly modest, convey a powerful unspoken message. I see you. I care. I still have something valuable to give. They are acts of connection, pure and simple. I once had the privilege of meeting Walter, a distinguished gentleman of 84 who lived a quiet life in a peaceful suburban neighborhood. He had given up driving some years prior, and his visitors were infrequent. Yet, Walter had discovered a unique way to reach out. Once a week, he would sit at his small writing desk and meticulously craft postcards. These weren't addressed to family or old friends, but to other seniors he didn't personally know. Individuals residing in local assisted living facilities, or those who received services from a senior center, many of whom had little or no family contact. His postcards contained kind words, cheerful observations about the changing seasons, or sometimes a brief, amusing anecdote from his own childhood. He'd then mail them in a bundle to the senior center, which had a program for distributing such mail to those who might appreciate a friendly greeting. When I asked him why he dedicated his time to this anonymous correspondence, his reply was profoundly simple. It reminds me, he said, a gentle smile playing on his lips, that I can still be a part of someone's good day, even from afar. It tells me I haven't become entirely irrelevant. That's precisely what the act of helping others does. It serves as a potent reminder that your presence, your thoughts, your words, and your actions still carry weight and can positively impact another's experience. And in this process of giving, something truly surprising and wonderful happens. You feel less alone. You feel more alive, more engaged, more connected to the broader human family. Psychologists refer to this as pro-social behavior, acts of kindness, generosity, and cooperation that support others, and extensive research underscores its profound benefits for mental and emotional well-being, including increased happiness and life satisfaction. For many older adults, engaging in such acts isn't merely about altruism. It's about reclaiming a deeply felt sense of purpose, a reason to get dressed in the morning, to make a plan, to show up in the world, even if it's only for a fleeting moment or in a small capacity. And purpose, as many who have navigated the challenges of later life will attest, is one of an exceptionally strong antidote to the pervasive ache of loneliness. Because when you wake up with even one small task, one gesture of kindness that contributes to someone else's well-being, your day is immediately imbued with meaning. And where there is meaning, there is inherently less space for emptiness to take root and flourish. What small ways of helping others have you found fulfilling? Or what ideas does this spark for you? The capacity to contribute and make a difference never truly leaves us. If this exploration of helping others as a path to connection resonates with you, and you believe in the power of giving back, however small the gesture, please share your affirmation by commenting with the number 3 below. We are always inspired by stories of kindness and community spirit. 4. Stepping into shared spaces, the gentle embrace of community. Navigating the social world after 70 can sometimes feel like walking a tightrope. There might be a desire for connection, yet also a hesitancy towards situations that feel overly demanding, performative, or carry the weight of high social expectations. One of the gentlest, most natural, and often most enjoyable ways to ease the grip of loneliness is to simply place yourself in environments where connection can organically happen, without pressure, without the need for a dazzling social performance, and without the anxiety of trying too hard. Community spaces offer precisely this kind of sanctuary, and they do so in a way that respects your individual pace, your comfort levels, and your unique personality. These are the third places, distinct from home, the first place, and work, the second place for those previously employed, that foster informal social connections and a sense of belonging. This could be your local library, a haven of quietude where the simple act of browsing shelves or reading in a shared room can create a subtle sense of camaraderie. Over time, the staff might begin to recognize your face, offering a friendly nod or a brief chat about a new book. Perhaps it's a local walking group that meets once or twice a week. Even if you only join for the first 10 or 15 minutes of the walk, the shared experience of movement and fresh air alongside others can be surprisingly uplifting. Consider senior centers, which often offer a rich tapestry of low-pressure activities, from casual coffee mornings and art classes where the focus is on creative expression rather than skill, to book clubs where diverse opinions are shared respectfully, or even simple board game afternoons. The primary goal of engaging with these spaces isn't necessarily to fix loneliness overnight, but rather to gently soften its edges, to give it less room and less power to grow, by creating opportunities for passive and active social engagement. I remember Frank, a reserved man of 81 who, after much gentle persuasion from his daughter, started attending a jigsaw puzzle group at his neighborhood senior center. Frank wasn't what you'd call a naturally social person. He disliked small talk and found large group interactions somewhat overwhelming. But something about sitting around a large table focused on the shared, quiet task of fitting puzzle pieces together with a handful of other people made him feel an unexpected sense of calm and belonging. "We don't talk a whole lot," he once shared with a shy smile, "mostly just, 'Could you pass that blue piece?' Or, 'I think this edge goes here.' But when I leave, I feel like I've genuinely been with people, like I've shared a space and a purpose, however small. And for me, that's often enough." That encapsulates the profound beauty of low-pressure social spaces. You don't have to perform. You don't have to be the life of the party or carry the burden of initiating and sustaining conversations if that doesn't come naturally. You can simply show up, be present, be around others, and allow connection to happen organically, much like sunlight gently seeping through a window, gradually warming a room. Over time, familiar faces start to emerge from the crowd. You might exchange nods of recognition, then perhaps a few casual words about the weather or the activity at hand. And slowly, incrementally, that isolating sense of separation begins to fade, replaced by a comforting feeling of familiarity and shared experience. The key here is often consistency. Even if you only visit a particular space or join a group once a week, that small, regular outing can become a significant thread woven into the fabric of your week. Something that gently holds you, something to look forward to, a reason to step out and engage with the wider world. And in a world that can sometimes feel like it's relentlessly moving on without you, that single, consistent thread can become a veritable lifeline, anchoring you to the present and to the possibility of connection. So, if you're grappling with feelings of isolation, try not to wait for an invitation that may never come or for someone else to knock on your door. Instead, gently encourage yourself to find a door you can walk through, even if it's just once to begin with. Explore what your local community has to offer. It might be a park bench where others regularly gather, a community garden, a lecture at the local college open to the public, or even a quiet corner in a friendly cafe. Because sometimes merely being in the same room as other human beings, even without deep, protracted conversation, is enough to remind your heart and mind that you are still part of something, still seen, still undeniably human. Exploring community spaces can open up new avenues for gentle social interaction. If the idea of visiting local spots or joining low-pressure groups appeals to you, or if you have a favorite community space that brings you comfort, please share your thoughts by commenting with the number 4 below. Your suggestions could inspire others. And as always, if these discussions are bringing value to your day, please support our work by hitting the like button, subscribing to the channel, and enabling notifications so you don't miss out on future content designed to uplift and inform. 5. Nurturing life, nurturing self, the healing touch of caring for living things. Loneliness at its core isn't solely the absence of people. It's often more profoundly the absence of deep, resonant emotional connection, the lack of a reciprocal flow of care and affection. One of the most quietly powerful, deeply instinctual, and surprisingly effective ways to reintroduce this vital current of connection back into your life is to embrace the responsibility and joy of caring for something living. This doesn't necessarily mean you need to adopt a boisterous puppy that requires long daily walks or a mischievous kitten that might enjoy scaling your curtains. Unless, of course, that is a welcome prospect. The spectrum of nurturing is broad and accommodating. It can be as unassuming as a small, resilient plant gracing your windowsill, a bird feeder strategically placed just outside your kitchen window that attracts daily feathered visitors, or even a single, serene goldfish gliding in its bowl. There's something profoundly human, almost primal, about the act of nurturing. When you consistently water a plant, ensuring it gets the sunlight it needs, when you refill a bird bath or put out seeds for wild birds, when you feed a pet or speak softly to a creature that responds, however subtly, to your presence and care, it sends a cascade of affirming messages back to your own psyche. It reminds you, on a very fundamental level, that you matter. Your care makes a tangible difference to another living being. Your hands, your attention, your consistency still have the power to provide comfort, sustain life, and create warmth. And that small, often quiet relationship you cultivate begins to refill the emotional spaces that loneliness so insidiously tries to empty. It's a gentle assertion of your capacity to love and be needed. I recall the story of Gloria, an 83-year-old woman who lived alone in a cozy one-bedroom apartment. Her primary companions were 2 potted herbs, a robust rosemary, and a delicate basil plant that sat proudly on her sunny kitchen windowsill. She had named them Rosie and Baz, and she would talk to them as she went about her morning routine. Every day, she'd lovingly check their leaves for any signs of distress, ensure their soil was perfectly moist, and meticulously turn them towards the sun to catch the optimal rays. They don't talk back, of course, she once told a visiting volunteer, a warm smile crinkling the corners of her eyes, but they greet me every morning with their quiet greenness. They depend on me, and in a way, that's enough. It makes the apartment feel less empty. Gloria's experience is not unique. A growing body of research underscores the therapeutic benefits of interacting with and caring for living things. Studies have shown that having something to care for, even a simple houseplant, can contribute to reduced stress levels, lower blood pressure, and increased feelings of well-being and belonging. For seniors who may no longer have the daily caregiving roles associated with raising children, looking after a partner, or even the responsibilities of a demanding job, the emotional bond formed with a plant or pet can become a gentle, fulfilling replacement. It's a reminder that the capacity to love, nurture, and connect can still flow out of you and, in its own unique way, come back to enrich your life. And if your circumstances and preferences allow, adopting a small pet, perhaps a calm, older cat seeking a quiet home or a gentle, small breed dog, can bring even deeper rewards. These creatures offer not just companionship, but also the profound comfort of physical touch, the gentle structure of a daily routine, feeding, grooming, perhaps short walks, and often unexpected moments of laughter and playfulness. They provide a reason to talk, even if it's just to them, a reason to wake up with a sense of purpose, a reason to keep going and stay engaged. However, even if adopting a pet isn't feasible due to allergies, mobility issues, living arrangements, or financial considerations, please don't overlook the subtle yet significant solace that a windowsill herb garden, a pot of cheerful flowers, or the daily drama unfolding at a bird feeder can bring. Life, in all its forms, is a marvel. And when you consciously invite a little bit of that vibrant, growing life into your home and into your daily awareness, your home starts to feel less quiet, less empty, and more like a place where something meaningful and beautiful is growing right alongside you. The act of caring for another living being can be a profound source of comfort and connection. If this idea of nurturing a plant or a pet resonates with you, or if you've experienced the joy that such a relationship can bring, we invite you to comment with the number 5 below and perhaps share a little about your own experiences. Your stories of connection are always welcome. Final thoughts, weaving a new tapestry of connection. The shadow of loneliness after 70 can indeed feel heavy, like a persistent, unwelcome guest. But it's crucial to remember that this feeling, however pervasive it may seem at times, doesn't have to be a permanent fixture in your life. Sometimes the most profound shifts don't come from waiting for the world to dramatically change or for others to perfectly anticipate our needs. Instead, they begin with the quiet, the courageous act of reaching out, just a little, in ways that feel honest, authentic, and doable for you. The 5 pathways we've explored today, crafting a gentle daily routine, embracing brief social contacts, offering small acts of kindness, stepping into low-pressure community spaces, and nurturing a living thing, are not drastic, overwhelming transformations. They are gentle adjustments, quiet steps taken with intention, leading towards renewed connection, meaning, and emotional ease. If one or more of these ideas has sparked something within you, even a tiny flicker of curiosity or hope, I genuinely hope you'll give it a try. Perhaps you'll decide to build a simple structure for your mornings just to see how it feels. Maybe you'll make a conscious effort to say hello to one new person this week, even if it's just a brief exchange. You might consider offering a small, unexpected act of kindness, visiting a local space where people gather with no agenda other than to be present, or bringing a small plant into your home to care for. Each of these choices, however small it may seem in isolation, acts like a chisel, steadily chipping away at the monolith of loneliness. It doesn't happen all at once, but gradually, consistently, like the first rays of dawn light seeping through a tightly closed curtain illuminating what was once dim. Please know, deeply and truly, that you are not alone in feeling alone. So many others, across all walks of life and in every corner of the world, carry this same quiet ache from time to time. It is a profoundly human experience. But what truly matters is what you choose to do with that feeling, how you meet it, how you move through it, and how you begin, even slowly and imperfectly, to reshape your days with a clear intention to stay connected, not just to others, but vitally to yourself and to the ongoing stream of life. Life after 70, like every chapter that preceded it, still holds immense richness, untapped joy, and profound purpose waiting to be discovered or rediscovered. You have not been left behind or forgotten. You are still very much here, a vital presence with a unique story and invaluable wisdom. And there are still people, perhaps more than you currently know or can easily see, who would be genuinely glad to see your face, hear your voice, and share the quiet, meaningful spaces in between. Thank you for journeying with us through these reflections today. We are truly interested in your perspective. After considering these 5 paths, what is one insight or idea that particularly resonated with you, and how might you consider weaving it into your life, even in a small way? Please feel free to share your thoughts in the comments section below. Your experiences and reflections are an important part of this community, and they often provide encouragement and new ideas for others. Reading your comments truly gives us great motivation. If you found this article insightful and helpful, we would be so grateful if you would support our efforts by hitting the like button, subscribing to our channel, and importantly, turning on the notification bell. This ensures you won't miss out on future content designed to inform, inspire, and build a supportive community. Thank you for your time and attention. We look forward to connecting with you again soon.